Do you feel like you constantly listen to other people, but you never have someone who can listen to you? The world is filled with speakers, but there are no listeners anymore. And when you feel like you have such people in your life, then you deserve to watch this video. Because toxic people are everywhere, and the best thing you can do to yourself is to avoid them as much as possible and as soon as possible. So let's go! And the stars holding me. Hello everyone! This is an amazing day, though I'm still waiting for the sun. It's just too cold to even shoot videos. But I was thinking about the fact that there are just some people in my life that no longer serves me, and I don't regret a single day that I cut them off from my life. Think of your life as some kind of movie where you get to interact with different characters on a daily basis. Some people are like really good, while others could be categorized as villains. Or maybe villain could be such a harsh word, so they are just generally not so good at understanding you and always trying to put you down, neither believing in themselves nor their dreams, but also trying to make you doubt your abilities at the same time. And we don't deserve that, and that kind of toxicity in our lives. We don't really have that much time and energy to give our attention to toxic people who not only take everything away from you, but ultimately they never accept their mistakes. This is going to be a long video, but trust me, this conversation is going to be worth it. So, let's talk about 5 kinds of toxic people that you need to avoid in your life. I will give you my personal experience and some examples so you know that if something similar has happened to you, then you need to run and then rethink your friendship choices or the people you accept around you or the people you surround yourself with. Toxic people type number 1, manipulating gaslighters. These are the type of people who always try to manipulate you into believing something that they want you to believe in. They constantly blame others for their problems. Gaslighters are really experts in shifting their blame from their own mistakes to you. They simply hate being accountable. Manipulators are those who know that you have potential and they are threatened by it. But they will always try to belittle you. They will try to make you believe that you have problems instead of them. Even if it's their fault, they will gaslight you into believing that it's not. Imagine somebody lied to you, and when you want to have their confession or expecting at least an apology out of it, they would rather focus on something that you said in the past or maybe a mistake that you made someday that happened probably years ago. You don't even remember that anymore. Something that isn't even important now, but they will definitely bring that out so you can feel bad, so they can shift the blame on you instead. If a person lies to you, then you say that you're being rude, even asking them this question, or trying to shift their attention from their own mistakes to try to convince you that you made them do this. Like, how can you make them make mistakes? How can you convince them to do something bad in their lives? I don't know. They are just gaslighting you into believing that it's your fault. It's like somebody is cheating on you and then they are saying like, you made me do this, you were always busy and you were never giving me time. Seriously? So there was this friend of mine, also happened to be my neighbor. We never usually meet each other, But it happened like 6 months ago that some of my neighbors shifted to a new home and they invited all of us to have a get together. So this girl, let's call her Jessica. No offense to any Jessica out there, you're lovely. So she came to that get together. It was almost like 5 to 6 months that Jessica and I haven't seen each other. So when we met, she asked me those generic questions like, how are you? What are you up to these days? Everything seems normal until she commented on my weight. Yes, I agree that I have gained a few pounds, but that's quite normal considering everyone does that. Now I want to clear that it's not about the fact that she commented on my weight and said that I gained a lot, but it was about the fact that she thinks she is better than everyone else. Hear me out and you will know why I said it. So when you have a true friend, they will criticize you. And I don't even mind my friends telling me if I make a mistake. I don't even mind if they pointed out something bad in me. But toxic people, when we talk about those specific personalities, they do this just so they can make you bad. They can make you feel bad about yourself or make image you as a bad person in front of other people. So when she kept on saying that I gained weight, she was not saying it for my well-being, but to glorify her own body. See, I don't mind taking criticism from a trainer who has an amazing body, or even a dermatologist saying that I got pimples on my face. Because I know that they have the expertise to say so. And they are even good at that. They are experts. But when somebody points out to your flaws only to make themselves feel better or to lift themselves up, to lift their ego, be trying to repeat one single flaw again and again to make you feel bad, then it's no longer healthy criticism, but toxicity. She literally told me that I gained weight for like 100 times, and she didn't even listen when I requested her not to talk about it anymore. Okay, when she said it for a few times, I listened, I heard it, okay? You don't have to repeat it. So she kept on bringing that up topic, trying to body shame me. And when it came down to her, when somebody in our group asked her what she's doing in her life, she said nothing. And when it came to me, I told them that I'm doing a job and managing my own website, having a YouTube channel, and working is just hectic for just one person to manage everything on my own. And since I'm doing a lot of stuff at the same time. But then she feel embarrassed, thinking that she don't have anything to say. I didn't say anything to let her down. I was simply confessing my own things. It was just an honest confession, and it was just a casual question to ask, right? But then she stood up and left the room instantly, knowing that she had nothing to say. That's when you know that they are toxic. That's when you know that people who try to let you down just to make themselves feel better because they are threatened by you. They are threatened by how hardworking you are and how much you are doing in your life, that they point out to that one single error, not only to criticize you, but your abilities, but try to belittle you in public, trying to embarrass you in front of your other friends. Manipulators twist facts with reality. They are living in some kind of illusion. Most of the delusional people are a part of this category. So they aim to confuse you and make you doubt your own perceptions and memories. They are an expert in triggering emotions and emotional responses that you will give them if they do that. So just like Jessica did, when she knows that commenting about my weight could make me feel bad about my eating favorite food or doing something that I love. They exploit your vulnerabilities. They induce some kind of guilt in you, and they try to provoke some kind of emotions to maintain that dominance in relationships. They can sprinkle salt on your wounds, and they will do it without a second thought. They will do it without a blink. So, how to avoid such leeches? Yes, I will call them leeches. So here are 3 ways. 1. Standing firm to your beliefs. Don't make them feel like such behavior is acceptable. If they are constantly being disrespectful towards you, then you need to let them know that it's not acceptable. If you don't set any boundaries, that they wouldn't know when to stop. Tell them when it's enough. Be bold yet kind about how you feel. You really don't want to stoop to their level now, would you? What would be the difference between you and them then? Secondly, trust your instincts. It's easier to get rid of those people if only you know that they are interacting with a manipulator. But what if you don't even know that they are the gaslighters, huh? Sometimes we don't want to accept the reality because we don't want to ruin our friendship with someone. But if this friendship is costing you your sanity, then is it even worth it? Gaslighters aim to make you doubt your perception. So trust your instincts and don't let them get to you. You are in control. Always remember that. And lastly, you can also build a support system and maintain your independence. So having a strong network of supportive friends or professionals, then you would be better into dealing with such kind of people. So these people can help you remain grounded and validate your reality in some kind of way. In that way, you won't be feeling like you are forced to be around such people. But anyway, we have given these manipulating gaslighters a lot of attention, and I think that's enough for this one. Let's move on to the second kind, the pessimist. These people are like dark cloud in the sky. Just as dark clouds overshadow the sun, these people can overshadow your positivity and create a gloomy atmosphere. I remember a high school incident when I saw a distant guy standing with his friends, and even though you would consider me crazy, but I call myself highly intuitive. So what happened was, this guy was just simply standing with a bunch of people, and you won't believe me when I say that I felt as if every other guy standing with him had sun on their face, like some kind of brightness upon them, that shining upon them. But that one person had a dark cloud surrounding his aura. Imagine a person that's walking, and wherever he goes, he has his own dark cloud just raining upon his head. It felt as if he was not ready for positivity. It's like I can literally see through his emotions. He was sad for some reason, but I could see that it wasn't the sadness from problems. It was the sadness from having a negative outlook towards life. The pessimists are the kind of people who have lost the capability to look at the bright side. Either they don't want to feel good, or they no longer have the capacity to feel happiness. So here are 3 traits of a pessimistic personality. One is their constant negative outlook. They simply don't want to look at the bright side of life. If you give them a glass of water, they would see it half empty rather than half full. If you ever ask them about the benefits of exercising, they would rather focus on the muscle cramps that it can give you if you exercise. If you tell them about your recent vacation, they will respond, "How much money you have wasted for nothing." These people simply dwell on the negative so much that no longer how hard you try to have a conversation with them, they will always give you the worst case scenario of everything. It's like nothing good is happening in this world, but that's not true, right? They can't take risk, and they don't want you to risk anything either. For them, living a mediocre life is better than betting it all on your dreams. But they are so negative that they can't even allow themselves to think outside their bubble or their so-called comfort zone. They will drain your energy. Yeah, just like the energy draining vampires, constant negative thinking does that too. Don't let them impact your motivation and willingness to try and experiment new stuff. Third, they are really resistant to optimism. Their resistance to optimism is so toxic that they might even downplay every positive aspect in their life. Even if someone does a selfless act of service for them, like you help them with their homework or get them a cup of coffee as a gesture because they are a friend. But then instead of being grateful, they would try to overthink as if, why did he help me? He must want something from me. What could be his motive? So like, do you need a favor? or you would ask for something in return. This is really irritating sometimes. Just like the dogs barking. Anyway, here's how to deal with them. At least for now. If only you're stuck with them and can't ignore these people, either because you work with them or they're your family. Sorry, but family can be toxic sometimes. So now that's a tricky situation. You can't avoid these people. So the first thing you can do is try to encourage some positive thinking into them. I know this might be like talking to a rock, but one can only try. You can start by offering some alternative viewpoints or positive perspectives on certain situations to subtly influence their thinking. But it's not like it always works. Been there, done that. A person can only change when they are willing to change. You can speak all you want. You can only pass someone a book, but you cannot force them to read it. So the next thing you can do is, once again, setting some boundaries. Try to stay away from them as much as possible. Protect your own mindset before trying to influence others or help other people. Other people's unwillingness to change their perspective toward life or attitude towards life is not your responsibility. So limit your exposure to these kinds of negative people and try to maintain a balance between listening to what they are saying and what you stand for. Don't let them influence you in that way. Only talk to them when it's really, really necessary, or else just try to lead by some examples. Share stories of some positive experiences. Let them know that there's another way to look at stuff. Don't force it upon them, but at least try to tell them how their negative thinking is not true. I know it's difficult when these people are a part of your family, but don't need to argue. You don't need to force them into believing stuff. You simply need to stand your ground and be humble and properly present your thoughts and feelings to them. Give them a different viewpoint, and maybe, just maybe, they would change. I don't know, I think it's worth a try if they're family. Moving on to the third type, which is energy draining vampires. These are the most common kind. Imagine hanging out with someone that's like a phone that never seems to fully charge because it's always plugged into a socket that keeps using its energy. Well, some people are just like that socket. They take away your positive vibes, leaving you feeling like you're tired or low on energy. These energy draining vampires leave you feeling so low and down and worn out because they constantly take away from you. They constantly take away your happiness and excitement and give you nothing in return. Just like a phone that cannot charge because someone's always draining its battery. These people drain you emotionally, leaving you feeling really exhausted for no reason. Because they just want to vent about pretty much everything in their life. There are literally vampires that can suck the energy out of you even when you come in contact with them. The worst part of being around such people is that you don't even have to talk to them. They can still successfully pass you their baggage and just by existing around you. And then we wonder why we need a lot of time alone after a social gathering. Because we literally got everyone's baggage holding on to our shoulder. It just happens unconsciously. So beware who you surround yourself with. Here are some common traits of these monsters. They constantly drain your energy no matter what. So you are like a juice bottle and they hold the straw, and the juice represents your energy, and guess what? They drank it all. But not anymore. These people are only interested in one-sided conversations. And by one-sided, I mean truly one-sided. You are not even a part of it. You don't even have to play an active part in that conversation. You just listen to them venting about their fifth breakup, or how they think the life is not fair to them for some reason, I don't know. They love to gossip. They literally eat drama for breakfast, and they are never interested in listening to you. It's mostly about them. Not mostly, I would say it's entirely about them. So I can give them a separate category of narcissist, but they kind of have common traits, so that's not necessary. Secondly, these vampires are overly demanding. These people are excessively dependent on others for their emotional support and validation. So they want you to tell them how good they look in that dress they just bought online. They will post a photo of themselves looking good on Instagram and just then keep on checking their notifications to see how many people have liked their post. They are that self-absorbed in themselves that you only exist to listen to them venting about their problems, their feelings. It's always about them. They demand attention and they drain your energy by constantly seeking help or validation without giving you the same support when you need it. They want you to clap on their success, but they will never be happy about your efforts. They will always be jealous and overly competitive. Energy drainers automatically possess a negative outlook on life. They consistently spread negativity, criticism, and drama. And just as I told you, they feed on drama. Their presence often leads to emotional fatigue or stress due to consistent negative energy surrounding you. And that's why it's really important to know how to tackle these weird personalities. My energy is getting drained even by thinking about these people. They were right. They are really energy drainers, and they do it so well. So here are 3 ways to survive their presence. 1 is limit your interaction with them. Only talk to them when it's really necessary. Limit your time spent with them. I think it applies to every other toxic people out there. Just don't pick up their phone calls at 2 a.m. just to listen to them venting about their ex that you actually kind of expected. You knew it all along that they're not going to work out. You even warned them not to be with such people, but they die for validation and hence giving lower self-esteem. So if it's possible, you can ask them to work on their self-respect. But this tip only works if that person is really, really close to you, or they would get offended. And you trying to help wouldn't matter anymore. Secondly, don't forget to recharge and protect your energy at all costs. Practice some self-care and focus on activities that restore your energy and positivity. If you have watched my previous videos, I have talked about the fact that you should know yourself that much that you know that some activities can make you feel better on any single day. Some activities that you can do anytime and it never fails to make you happy. I will link that self-care video in the description. Make sure to check that out. So returning to the topic, Engage in some hobbies and spend time with your friends, uplifting friends, of course, people who charge you. If there are some people who drains you, then I'm pretty sure you have an escape as well. There's gotta be that one person who can help you as well. Someone who could be a listener to you. Find them and protect them at all cost. Try to practice some mindfulness from time to time, like meditate to counter the effects of draining. And you can also just go and take a walk and think about why you are supposed to be avoiding such people, because they are literally not serving you at all. Lastly, try the direct communication approach. If possible, just have an honest conversation with them and positively express how you feel and their behavior towards you. Just clearly communicate your boundaries and the need for a healthier, more balanced interaction. Let them know that your feelings matter and this behavior isn't acceptable. You don't owe them anything. And most importantly, you are not supposed to be responsible for their self-esteem issues. Let's move on to the fourth type of toxicity, and that is the criticizer. The name says it all. They have this talent of criticizing you even in the most easier situations. They are the ones who criticize you all the time. If they get lower grades, then they would blame the teacher for disliking them. But they would never accept their mistakes. They will never admit that not studying enough is their fault. They won't take responsibility. That would be lame. Like, who takes responsibility? That's old school. No, it's not. So if you try to do something good, they would highlight your mistakes. You don't do anything at all. They still find a way to give you a piece of their shitty mind and negative thinking as a present that you never asked for. And here are the traits of the so-called critiques. So one, they literally have an opinion over everything, and I mean everything. They usually offer advice that you never asked for. They try to outsmart you. They simply like offering negative criticism to feed their own limiting mindset. If you have read this book called Mindset by Dr. Charles, then you probably know that there are two types of mindset. If you haven't, then don't worry. I will link a blog post from my website covering this topic in some more details. Make sure you read it. It will only take you like 7 to 8 minutes, but you would get so much knowledge in return, and likely as if you have read the book. So these two types of mindsets are a growth mindset and a limited mindset. A growth mindset aims to evolve and never fear from change. A growth mindset is all set to make mistakes, get out of its comfort zone and doing something worthy in life. And contrary to the growth mindset, we have a limited mindset. People with this mindset are limited to a few actions, so they want to repeat and be happy with it. Trying to do the same things if that provides them with that appreciation that's lifting their ego or whatever. Like solving the same Rubik cube again and again, a same puzzle, knowing that it makes them feel smarter. But the people with a growth mindset would never want to limit themselves. They would happily agree to take the most difficult challenge there is and constantly try to evolve through their actions. Now you know which category the criticizers belong to? Comment that below. Criticizers only tend to focus on flaws, potential failures, or even reasons why your ideas won't work. But don't listen to them. Secondly, they are highly resistant to change. These people don't like change. They prefer being in their own bubble, or we can say their own comfort zone. So offering other people their unasked advice over why they shouldn't apply to a new job and stick to the old one because it's easier and you don't have too much work to do and you're getting everything from it, right? Wrong. You can understand by their behavior that they prefer the status quo and are skeptical about new ideas or ventures and often projecting their fears onto other people. They are really insecure about their own beliefs. And proving them wrong, proving them wrong means insulting them. So good luck with that. Good luck in your argument with a fool. You would feel as if you're hitting your head on the wall and yet they won't change. Lastly, criticizers are also capable to undermine your confidence. Their constant judgment can make you question things. If you can try to avoid them, they will even make you feel guilty about that. It can shake your confidence. They might discourage you or belittle you, your aspirations, making you doubt your abilities or even the validity of your goals. So, is there a solution to get rid of these people? I wish we can erase them from existence, but laws and government and stuff. So the best we can do is these three stuff. One is filter their constructive criticism. Differentiate between genuine feedback and baseless criticism. There's always going to be that one Jessica in your life. No offense to all my lovely girls who have this name. I actually love this name and that's why it came into my mind. So please don't take that personally. Secondly, you can limit sharing your plans. Avoid sharing detailed plans or aspirations with your constant critics. Just protect your dreams by confiding in those who have the best interest at their heart. And honestly, why bother telling them where you're going, or just avoid them as much as possible. So those who offer support or constructive feedback rather than consistent negativity, these are the people you are supposed to be spending more time with. But honestly, you don't really have to involve these toxic people too much in your life or try to hang out with them. Limit it and keep it in control. If it's not, then you can once again set some boundaries. Assert some boundaries politely but firmly, okay? Regarding their criticism, don't care. Let them know that you appreciate their concern, but confident in your choices. It's like that professional email, like, I appreciate what you're saying, but I believe in something else. Okay? So just like kindly. Okay, so not their constant negativity now. Make them aware of your feelings. And if they still don't respect that, then get rid of them. I mean, please don't kill them. As tempting as it may sound, just don't meet them as much as possible. Simply avoid them like a plague, and that's the least you can do. And here we are at our last toxic personality, and these people are habitual victim players. These people get on my nerves so bad. These are the people who say, I hate my life. It's your fault. How am I supposed to know she was coming? You are being unfair to me. Why does that always happen to me? Victim players have the traits to shift their blame on other people. They frequently blame others for their misfortunes, always avoiding accountability for their actions or decisions. But hear me out before you think that they are the same as manipulating gaslighters. They are different. They are more focused on not blaming others, but to blame everything that happens in their life, even if it's a good or bad thing. So poor them, maybe. So these blame game champions are expert at seeking sympathy from even a stranger. Do you know those people who tend to overshare? Well, sometimes it's okay when you are depressed, but not oversharing in the kind of bragging form, right? They are constantly seeking sympathy or attention by portraying themselves as victims or exaggerating or dramatizing situations to evoke sympathy and empathy and support from others. But you no longer have to pass them a tissue or a shoulder to cry on when you know that they don't even know the real meaning of apologies. Ouch. Lastly, you can notice these pity party professionals when you see them constantly repeating patterns in their life. They have a pattern of reoccurring victimization, often encountering similar issues or conflicts with different people or situations. So, if a person is breaking up with 10 girls and all of his exes are saying the same problem, like he was a cheater, and all those 10 girls are saying that he was a cheater, then trust me, he was. So this cycle continues as they fail to acknowledge their role in these circumstances. They just never blame themselves. I don't know what the heck is wrong with them, but it's just the way they are. So how can we tackle these misfortune magnetizers? Ooh, I am really good at giving nicknames. Okay, firstly, try to encourage responsibility among them. Encourage them gently to take responsibility for their actions or decisions. Offer some sort of support and guidance, showing them an alternative perspective to help them see their role in certain situations. Trust me, they are not too bad. I think they are moreover like looking at life in a negative perspective, but they are not bad people. And then sometimes they don't even know why they are doing this. Like, why are they blaming everything in their lives? So my classic advice is to once again set some good old boundaries. You don't have to meet them if you really don't have like that pressure on you, like you don't work with them. So establish some boundaries regarding their constant victim behavior. Just politely but firmly let them know that while you are empathetic, you won't tolerate constant victimhood as an excuse for avoiding accountability. You clear them that it's not your problem. Lastly, you can encourage some empowerment into them. Encourage them to seek help or professional support if their victim mentality is impacting their well-being. And if someone in your family feels like this, then the best you can do is to offer them some resources or seeking therapy. Counseling can really help to address some underlying issues, and hopefully we can fix them somehow. Because out of all these other toxic people, I think these victim players, or I could say like habitual victim players, they are the ones that can be fixed, because somehow they also feel bad about the fact that why are they constantly attracting negativity into their life. They want to change, they just don't know how. So you can help them if you want to. But once again, you don't owe them anything, and it's not your responsibility. But you can just do it out of courtesy, or maybe they are your friend and you just mean the best for them. And that's a wrap, people. I hope you find it super useful. I truly did a lot of research to try to make this video as personal as possible by adding my own experiences into it. Don't make me regret this. I was vulnerable around a lot of people right there. So comment below what you think about it. Have you encountered these kind of people in your life? If yes, then please tell us, how did you manage to tackle them? They're really tough. So do you have some tips then that other people can find useful? Then please comment down below. If yes, please share it with other people. Share it with the community. Make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell to never miss an update. And I will see you in the next one. Until then, bye bye. Signing off.